maybe have already, because I do webinars very often. And so, yeah, let's start with today. Sharing my screen. Great. So, why are we here today? So in this webinar, we wanted to try a new format. So in this specific case, we would like to focus not as much on one specific case. Sometimes we do corporate investigations, sometimes we do brand protections, and also we will soon have a webinar about KIC. But this time, we really wanted to focus on the product. So we have our own platform named Crimewall, and with this platform, we can conduct investigations. We are really proud of our platform, and we really do everything that we can to implement it, to try new ways to help us internalists solve their tasks. And so, yeah, this is a webinar more based on the functionalities that we will see together that can be super helpful while investigating on a person of interest. And so, yeah, we will be super focused on how we work with that, with the automation that we have implemented. And that can help you saving time and also better analyze the data that you have and to get you the information that you need. And your opinion, of course, is super valuable. You will receive a survey during the webinar, and it would be great if you can tell us what you think. And the cases that we will see, they are very standard cases that many people face during investigations. So we have a background check while we start with one single input that can be, in this case, would be an email. And we try to gather the digital footprint of the target. Then we have de-anonymization. So in this case, we have a suspected person. We just start with one alias, and we try to understand who this person is. And in the third case, we have social listening. So we have an online phenomenon, and we will deep into the analysis of this phenomenon, trying to see which functionality we have implemented to work better with sentiment analysis tasks. And the last one would be a darknet investigation, one of my favorites. So we will see how we can use the darknet, not only to investigate people that do illegal things in the darknet, but also to investigate on people that have nothing to do with the darknet. Because our darknet pack is extremely helpful, also in the case that you just need to gather informations, because it can contain leaked data. And so from the leaked data, they can be also from people that have nothing to do with the darknet, just normal people. And thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And so now I will switch to Crimewall. Okay, so in this case, here on Crimewall, I have one email address. This email address, I'm pretty sure many of you have already seen it. It belongs to our product manager, Sofia. And yeah, so we will start with her email and try to check how many things we can gather from her email address about her digital footprint online. Usually, we have the input, we go to the methods, and we scroll here, and we run all the methods that are related to our investigation. But as a high number of our customers have demanded, as far as I know, we really wanted to focus on automation. So we wanted to make you able not to have to scroll through all the lists of activities that you can do to enrich an email. So we will see it. It's named OSINT Start or OSINT Pro, and we just have to click here. And here I can input my my email. So we work with email addresses, phone numbers, and aliases in this specific OSINT Start mode. What it's doing? Basically, the system is running all the methods that I showed you, and it's running them in a logic consequent with logic, So it's a combination of methods that are run by a specific methodology, and that is gathering all the information that we can about Sofia. So now we can click on the results that we have. So in this case, on her Google ID, and just clicking on View in Documents, I will have the graph compiled with the information that I gathered with OSINT Start. As we can see, it's getting pretty full. Let's start to analyze it. So the first thing that we have is this Google profile. The Google profile is like the Google ID from where a person lets reviews, send emails, and so on. And very often it contains face and name because people put it there to be recognizable when they send email. One very nice functionality that we have is named Search by Face and Name. In this case, I run it on Facebook. And let me explain you how it works. Basically, every time that we have a face and a name, we can run a search in multiple platforms. Now I run it just on Facebook. And mainly the activity that we are doing is typing the full name in the search bar of the platform and then using the face as a filter. So in this case, Sofia has quite a singular name, but also we can have people with very common name. And the fact that the face acts as a filter allows us to avoid the false positives. Here we see that we have found her Facebook profile and we have same name, and also here we have a number 75%, and this belongs to the percentage of probabilities that we have that these two faces belong to the same person, because we don't work with pictures, we really work with the face features. And yeah, so here we found the Facebook profile. The most cool thing here I wanted to show you what we have implemented. So what do we implement here? This search, named Search by Face and Name, we have it in several platforms. So we saw Facebook, but also we have Instagram, MySpace, TikTok, Twitter, VK, Sing, and YouTube. And for each of them, I can run the method, but also we have implemented a script that is again a combination of methods. So now I run script get profile in other network by face and name alias. And so the system, as you see here, 7 tasks have started. So all the social media platforms where we can use this functionality, we are looking into them, and we had to click, just one time instead than going and click on each of the available methods. So now the system is looking for Sofia in all the platforms. We already have Instagram with 68% of probability and waiting for more. Here we have some other things. Let's try to go with step by step. So here I have some leaked information that come from the darknet. This functionality we will see better later. But how does it work? Basically, this email has those 10 leaked information in the darknet because the websites where she subscribed with this email got breached. So some information became available. And those informations, for example, are the phone number, we have a GitHub profile here, and an alias. So in this case, by having those information, we can start analyzing them. And so, for example, we have an alias here. And when we have an alias, the most typical thing that an investigator do with an alias is going to several platforms and try to see if there is a profile. The platforms that we cover are LinkedIn, Duolingo, Facebook, Flickr, GitHub, Instagram, LinkedIn, OnlyFans, PayPal, Snapchat, Steam. We really have many. Tinder, TripAdvisor, Twitter, VK, Sing, and YouTube. But again, we created a script that allows us to not, have to click on each of them 2 times, but that runs them all together. So now I am running, just with 1 click, a search in all of those platforms for an alias Sonny Kornova that I see is the alias of Sofia. And also here I have a phone number. This looks like being the same phone number, and we usually input the country code, so I keep this one. And yeah, when we have phone number, what we can do is to basically look in the platforms where you register with phone number. So we have Telegram and Truecaller and WhatsApp. Also here, as you can see, we have OSINT Industries. So OSINT Industries is a third-party key. Third-party key, it means that they have functionality, especially OSINT Industries. They are super strong with everything related to phone numbers and email addresses. And we have integration. So in this case, we have also implemented several integrations that allow us to go deeper in some senses. Also, for example, GitHub is an integration from where, I can see the alias of Sofia, but if I wouldn't have the third party inserted, it would have been impossible to find it. So yeah, here we are waiting to find her profiles in the social media, but now I would like to focus a bit on the results that we found from here. So we had Facebook. We can see the arrow, the clock. It means that we are still looking for some of the profiles. And here we have Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. The things that we can do, for example, are running, for example, Twitter, get post here, but also we can run, for example, get details, which is a thing that I recommend everyone to do as soon as they gather a profile. And okay, also other interesting things that we found. Yeah, here let's have a look at the phone number. So from the phone number, we found the Truecaller record. Truecaller is super, in my opinion, because the Truecaller can give you some information about the person that owns the phone number. You know, in this case, we only have Sonia social links. So we have a name and we have a company. But you know, already this is better than just the phone number itself. And then the cool thing is that here is from OSINT Industries. And from OSINT Industries, you know, was able to gather us some very important details. For example, here we have another phone number. So we are sure that she has a phone number with 63 registered, while we can see that the one that we had is with 58. So it would be cool also to try to gather it. And here also we have VK. VK is like the Russian social media, Facebook, sorry, and it really contains a lot of information. So in this case, I would go to VK and run, for example, get details. But also, if I would be interesting, I can run get followers, groups and page, and much more things. And so, yeah, we are trying now from the phone number, we were able to gather VK profile, and we are trying to access the VK profile. Here we also had a location of Sofia in Israel, where she was living some years ago, I think. And yeah, so then here we have the informations from VK, and yeah, they are really full. So we have, for example, gender, languages, relationship, date of birth, last time online, website. So here we also have Instagram profile. Then we have location, hometown, country, city. So we can really go deeper in it. And yeah, so VK was really a key point in understanding, for example, date of birth, relationship, and so on. Also, we gathered school, work, location, and much more. And we are now here. We still see one arrow, one clock here. So it means that we are still looking for all the profiles, even if we gathered quite a bit of profiles already. So yeah, in this case, you know, we started with just one email address, just to recap. And from there, we were able not just to understand the name of the person, Sofia Ronova, but also the phone number. And from the phone number, we were able to gather social media profiles, place of work, place of study. And from the email itself, we were able to gather Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So yeah, I would say it's quite a complete digital footprint. And as you have seen, it took us less than 10 minutes to gather it. Okay, I hope you like it. And if you would have comments, I would be happy to listen them when I finish here, we will close with the cases. Okay. The second case that we see is named the de-anonymization. And in this case, we are working with a person who has done some bad things. We only have one alias, and we would like to try to find this guy. In this one here is a pretty famous case. It's related to Cyclone, is the alias of the person who was involved in several online scandals and some school shootings. So we have also created a very good automatization for this. So as you have seen, when we had the alias of Sofia, we were able to look in all the different platforms that I have here mentioned. And we have also developed one that is able to do the same with the alias. Yeah, as you see here, we really gathered a lot of profiles more, and also we have some profile existing. So we know that she has a profile in all those places. So now let's try to go to the automatized way to do it. So here we have Crimewall de-anonymization, and I am inserting in the alias of the target that I would like to find. I can also start again both with email and phone number are part of alias. As you see, the data have been collected. And one of the most interesting things that we have about the anonymization mode is that, yes, it creates a graph. So before, you remember, I input my alias and then I click on open in document. And also, yeah, we have a document. But one of the most cool things of the anonymization mode is that it doesn't only gather the data, go in all the social media platforms where there is an alias and all the leaks and so on, but it also produces you a report. So we really are able to produce an AI generated report where the data that you gathered are put in a form of intelligence, so that you don't have, to take the graph and explain, as I have done, now with Sophia. So we gather this and we gather this through this and this. No, the system, as soon as it will have finished here, will just give me a written report about what they have understood about the person of interest. In this case, the guy named Cyclone. Yeah, when we are waiting, I would like to show you several of our reports that we have so that you can have an idea. This is also new functionality that we have implemented lately. So we can really extract this in many different report forms. First of all, we have smart reports, are the one that also the anonymization mode is generating now. And we have the anonymization, HR pre-employment, background check. We also have them based on country, So, for example, we have implemented them for some customers that needed, for example, a report that was in Spanish or in Portuguese. And so this is one of the things that we are doing. In this case, we will have a de-anonymization report, but also we can have basic reports like HTML, PDF, and document, or also images. The smart report usually contain both text and images. Let's go to see. We are still waiting. Whoa, great. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that when you generate one smart report, you will have, the graph itself and then the explanation. The explanation would be, focused on, for example, the employment things or on the background check and so on. While if you generate the other ones, it's better to generate both of them. Okay, he is really going slow. And I guess we have to wait for some seconds more. Yeah, it's generating the smart report. So the search is complete, and in a few seconds, we will be able to see who is this person and read what information we were able to find about him online. I would open a second the questions meanwhile, and I can maybe try to answer to a couple of questions. Of course, we have the results. So questions I would let for later. Okay, here we have the title is Identity Card Cyclone, and we also see that we have his full name and surname, Marcelo Mello. Here we have one image. It doesn't represent his face, but is an image taken from his social media profiles. And here we have informations, and here we have the summary. We will go through both. So as you see, the system understood that behind this alias there is a person named Marcelo Mello. We find also other aliases, and we were able to gather a huge amount of email addresses. So the good thing here is that, we would have gathered the email addresses, and then we had, to analyze also the email address, as we have just done with Sophia. But the good thing of this de-anonymization mode is that basically it analyzes everything by its own. That's why it took so much, because those email addresses have already been analyzed. And the thing here contains everything, coming both from the email addresses and also coming from the social media profiles. So in this case, we were able to gather his profile on GitHub, TikTok, Facebook, Steam, Last.fm, Flickr, Twitch, Twitter, and Telegram. So we have them all collected here. Potentially, we can open and go deeper and investigate them. We also have leaked password here. So we found the password We didn't show this with Sophia before because she also have encryption on the password. But yeah, we also are able through the darknet to visualize the passwords. We have associated location, including the one that is for hiding. And yeah, we were able to see that he has been repeatedly associated with radical extremist discussion in Brazilian and international chains, multiple references to criminal activities, mental instability claim, and widely discussed infamy. Name appear on Wikipedia and advised in darknet discussion to flee to countries with no extradition. So we already also were able to find things that he wrote in the darknet. And yeah, so here also we have a short summary. The most relevant person identified from the OSINT investigation is widely known as Psycho, with high confidence for the real name Marcelo Mello. The strongest source for real image and full name is on the GitHub profile, which overlaps with aliases, emails, and various social and darknet discussions. This individual is notable for activity on technical platforms, as well as involvement in highly controversial image border darknet discussions, as evidenced by recurrent differences and leaks. Present confirmed globally, but operational and historical trace points primary at Brazil. So as you see, it's very detailed. And we also have here this written summary where we can read pretty much the same things that we have seen here. And yeah, also here, yeah, we have some other things and saying, you know, repeating the things with more details on the mentions themselves. So yeah, as you have seen, just from the alias, I was able to gather all of this information and have an idea of who my target is. And that's great, you know, because potentially you can really let the machine do it and then just, you know, think about the report, how to go ahead with what you need to produce. So yeah, this was our second case. Again, I hope you liked it. And now I would like to go for the third one, which is related to the investigation of extremist movement. Okay. Here I named it cooperation mode because in this graph I wanted to be working with someone else, with my colleague Valeria, that is going to come soon on the graph. And so let's start. I have assigned those to Valeria, and me, I will work on the other ones. So here I have hashtags. So we have this movement, just for your understanding and context. Boogaloo movement is movement that has became quite famous in the USA. Is made by you know, very radical group of people that like want to make the civil war and so on. So they really have bad ideas, bad intentions, and they join on the different platforms to, you know, speak about this. And now we would like to investigate that one here. I would assign those to Valeria, and me, I would focus on these three hashtags here. As you see, they are quite the same hashtag because, of course, we are looking for the same phenomenon. So they are very similar. In this case, I would set up my maximum number of results in 10, but I can increase it up to 5K if I need. Just for the webinar, of course, it's better to stay low so that I can show more things. So yeah, I am selecting my three hashtags here. And in this case, I would like to search for it on Twitter, but also I have the possibility to look in Instagram, and I also have a script here that is combining the actions that we will see that I would do manually. And also we can look in Telegram and in TikTok. And in TikTok, we can also divide between search post by hashtag or search post by hashtag exact, which is also a thing that I would recommend to run because, you know, with those hashtags here, they are very similar. So it can be highly plausible that, for example, there is another one that is very similar. So also this thing of not looking for an exact thing sometimes is useful. Okay, we see that here we have our clock. So I would start focusing on, okay, maybe we got it. Start focusing on the tweets coming from here. And yeah, so I can do several things. The first thing that I can do is to ask to the machine to give me the topics. So the things that we most see, that the main topics of discussion here. Also, when the system is looking for it, I would like to show you one functionality that is very helpful. It's named table. And basically here we are allowed to see everything, less in a graph form, more in a list form. So we have our 30 tweets that are all listed here in the rows. And here in the columns, we have details. Details include alias, author name, author URL, creation date, likes, quotes, replies, and repost, images, and here we have text. So yeah, here we can see, so some of them, of course, they are false positives. So for example, is it winter in Alaska already? Time to build big igloo. So this, I would say that or is very ironic or is a false positive. So in this case, I usually use the colors to bookmark the things that I found. And for example, so I would select that blue things are false positives. And yeah, then as we can see here, we have many other things. So we have, for example, it's time to revive some of the tamer old bog memes. And we have reference to Civil War, 1776, Big Glue, American NCO. And yeah, again, here we have some of false positives here that we can mark as false positives. But also, yeah, we have other things that are related. So now we have more or less an idea of how the people here speak about the phenomenon. And yeah, so here we have topics. And in this case, I really wanted to show you the topics that we have. We have a very good functionality for it, which is named conditional formatting. So basically, it's the ability to see to see the things displayed on the graph based on the number of connections that they have. And here, in this case, my main aim of using this specific functionality is to be able to, understand by the graph which is the topic that is most faced in the online conversation. So the thing that I'm looking for is for a phrase element containing a topic that has many links coming. So that is the topic is referred to in many of the posts that we are analyzing. And I would like to format it by size because it's more straightforward in my opinion, but you can also do it by color. And yeah, so here I insert that I want just to see the incoming connections of the topics. And okay, so as we see, the bubbles really changed. And we can see, of course, that the biggest things are the tweets. And here we can really start understanding. So we have the sport team, which is very big. But we saw that is a false positive. So they probably have similar words also to refer to sport. So in this case, I would just, delete the two that to me looks to be very false positives. Okay, so that we have a better understanding. And we can immediately see the three main topics that are politics, extremism, and America. But also, we can go deeper and see, for example, terrorism, civil war, ideology, racism, protest, white supremacy, vandalism, and patriotism, and so on. So yeah, as you know, if as you have just seen, in this way we can really understand what are the main topics. And so yeah, from here, this is a very useful functionality that I really recommend you to use. But also, of course, those topics can be also viewed in the focus mode so that we can really read them here and, potentially bookmark the ones that are more interesting. For example, civil war, statism, and civil war again. So usually the thing that I do, I scroll through them all to try to understand what are the most important. Let's take the conditional formatting on, since I want to show you another thing. Okay. Another very interesting functionality that we have implemented is named timeline. So here I have a timeline, and here from the timeline I can see when the posts have been created. They are basically the 30 posts that I have here are displayed in the timeline, and from the timeline I can really quickly understand that this phenomenon has started to be spoken online as for, of course, just the 30 posts that I have. Of course, probably I would find even other things if I would have increased the amount of result to 5K. And I can select them from here, for example, and they also get selected in the graph. So I know that they are here because it's green, as you see. And for example, I can read, and also I can read the things. And the other thing that I can do, thanks to the timeline combined with the conditional formatting, is really to understand how the perception of a movement changed. So in this case, I have selected this one from October 23. And as you see, I have some green arrows. This means that those topics where the arrow goes to, they have been mentioned in this post. And so, it would be pretty interesting. You can also make a very deep analysis. Now, unfortunately, I have not the time to do it. And to really understand how the perception of the movement and how the movement was spoken about changed in the time from 2023 until now. So as we can see, this is super bespoken also now, because we can see that we have post by those days. This was a false positive, but this one no, for example. Okay, here I have finished, and yes, so let's go to the next one and last one. So in this case, we have a darknet de-anonymization. What does it mean? We have a phone number. So I wanted to make one with the email and one with the phone number. So in this case, I have a phone number, and I would like to understand who is the person behind this phone number, only by using the darknet. So as you have seen before, when I had a phone number, I ran, for example, Telegram, Truecaller, and also WhatsApp. But in this case, I really want to use just linked information to show you how much powerful they are. So yeah, I will scroll until social links darknet search record in leaks by phone. And as you see, it's a start because I really use darknet methodologies a lot. Now I'm running it, and yeah, I was able to find 4 leaked information. When we work with leaks, I love the table because it really allows me to see everything. So I have set it up for now. And yeah, we can see we have one alias with name and surname. Then we have the date from where the leak is coming. We have email addresses, Facebook profiles, full name, password. We have another phone number because this is the starting one that we had, and we had another one here. And here we have the source from where the data came from. So for example, we can be pretty sure that she has a Facebook profile because we have one leak from Facebook. Now I go to the graph, and the main things that we have seen are already here. So we have full alias, full name, email address, and social media profiles. I will take the social media profiles just that we have to visualize the profile picture. And now I would like to focus on the email. So this email got leaked. We see it here, but we can also, use it. And I recommend you, of course, to do it. Use it as an input to see, when did the email address got leaked. And there are maybe other leaks. So to do so, the first thing that I do is to run social link darknet search record in leaks by email this time. And also another interesting thing is that here we have the password of the person. And despite we, of course, don't want to access any of her profiles, we can also run from here the search. So let me explain how it works. Mainly, there are people, they can have their credentials and their password leaked due to a data breach that happened to a website where they were registered. The password can become public. And we can use the password as a starting input, as I have just done. And in this way, the system is using the password, going in the darknet and looking for leaked content that have the same password. And in this case, what put in common the different email addresses or leaked content is that they have the same password. Of course, this can lead to false positives because many people in the world can have the same password, but also it can give us some very juicy information. And yes, so we have 8, and we can see that from those 8 leaked info, we have 6 email addresses. And well, so we can see that, it looks like it can be the same person. Again, with, you see like the same name, Katie Host and Katie Host. Maybe she has double surname, or maybe she got married and took the surname of her husband. But yeah. So here we were able to find several emails that we can assume are connected to her. And another thing that we can do. So we have also another functionality that also works with password that is named search emails with the same password by email. So since we suppose that the password of this email is public, we can really use it again as a starting input. And here I have 10 more email addresses. And yeah, so they are really a lot. And for example, some of them we cannot be really sure that are of her, but also, some of them it can be that they are. And in this case, it can be, that she is attack cat kid, I would say highly plausible, scat cat kid. I see a similarity between the cat and the Kate. So I can, anyway, I would bookmark them. Okay. So yeah, now let's go to, again, as we have seen here, by analyzing leaks, we were able to find several phone numbers, and I would like to analyze them because all those phone numbers got leaked in relation to her email. And so I would try to cancel the ones that are double, for example, this one here. And this one here. And okay, so it looks like we only have those 4. Let me let me put them in a new document. I would prefer to have an empty document since I am going to have many leaked information here. So I can open here. I have my 4 phone numbers, and from here I can select them all and look again for leaks. And yeah, let's wait a second. It may be that it takes a little bit of time since there are 4 different ones. And here we have the leaks that we already had because, yeah, I put again the same phone number. But yeah, as you see from this phone number here, we have 10. Let's focus just on the 10 that are contained in the phone number terminating in 25. And let me go to the table to scroll. So here we have several email addresses, one of a person that looks like being named Bain Davis. And here we have all the file from where the leak came from. And here we have names, so names associated with the phone numbers. And so we have her name, Katie Murphy. We have Katie R. Murphy, so it can also be that she has a second name that we can discover. But also here I see Jordan Fridstar, Ben Davis, Catherine Murphy, Carol Davis, Carol Benjamin Davis. So Christine Almanazza, Agnes Katie. So we really have a lot of she uses her phone numbers with really a lot of different names, and this is interesting because we can assume that she has different personalities. And, without the darknet, we would have never being able to see that. Of course, I'm not here saying that there is something bad, but this person has a lot of email addresses. And with those email addresses, she registered in several platforms that got leaked with different names. So this is something that, I would like to know about my target while running an investigation. Okay, I still have 5 minutes. I want to go back to my previous graph here. So let's just imagine that now I take Katie profile on Facebook and I try, to run a normal investigation about this person. So I run the script, get profile in other networks. So I look for her in all the, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of those platforms. Then I can run, for example, albums, check-ins, groups, which is a thing that I like running because many people, use Facebook groups. Sometimes they are hidden by something legal when they are not. So it's a thing that I personally look at. Post, relatives, and so on. And okay, so we are now gathering the social media profile. We have Instagram here. And yeah, this is interesting because as you can see, they are the same person, but in this we have a very low probability, 57, but because she has both sunglasses and hat. So in this case, we love this. Me personally, I love this technology because it really goes deeper in the image analysis, and even when the face is covered, we are able to recognize it, even if with low percentage. And she has 2 more profiles here. We also gathered Facebook groups that I'm showing you here. So we have book lovers. This is a very old school page with like things written, like love things written. And here we have food, we have IKEA tips, not astronaut allowed, why I'm single, grew up in 70s and 80s. And, it looks that can be quite a, normal Facebook profile. And also we have post, we can, read the post. And yeah, so we see that is about profile picture. Here she tagged herself in some places. So I'm sure you remember that we have just seen what happens when content have a date. And in this case, I want to show you what happened when content have a place, like in this case. So we have this view named map. And you see we have a map. And we have in the map the places where the person has registered that are here, Huntsville. So we have this nails page. We know that she went there 2020, 2018. And also we have another one that she visited in 2022. So both things that we can know is that probably she lives nearby here, and also that this Facebook profile is active from 2018, at least. Yeah, so also she has 3 Instagram profiles. It's interesting that she has 3 with the same face and the same name. But anyway, from here, if we would have only analyzed the digital footprint of Katie that is in the ClearNet, we would miss many things. So it would look like a person with some informations and so on, but we would never be able, to go through, all the different names and things that we have seen were present here in the phone number analysis. Yeah. So yeah, this was to show you the difference. And of course, also because when we speak about the darknet, we always, everyone, me included, thinks about an investigation about only people that do things in the darknet, when it's not like this. The darknet is helpful to find information about everyone, because everyone may have a profile registered in a platform, and every platform, even the most normal, like for example, let's go to see some platform linked here. Lux Optical, National Public Data. So you see they are platform that everyone can be subscribed to. And so, yeah, this person, of course, is not doing anything illegal in the darknet, but anyway, the darknet was very important to be able to produce a report where we assume that she has several email addresses and several identities. Okay, I think I have showed you everything. Now I will focus a bit on the chat and on the question. I see that you have a poll, please answer. Okay, I'm going through the question again. Thank you so much for have come so many people. Thank you so much to everyone that wrote where they have been connected from. And now let me go a second through the questions. So, does Crimewall access the web in real time, a mirror of spidered and licensed content, or a combination of archived real-time and licensed data? How often the data refreshed? Real-time, daily, weekly, customer decided, social links implement, or other? So when we speak about Crimewall, because we also have an API solution that is available on, without Crimewall insert in. While speaking about Crimewall, all the data that we see here are real-time data. With the darknet, we have a third-party provider, so they also have some historical information. But from what is, about social media and so on, that we see everything is live data. We have nothing stored. We don't store any type of information about people, companies, content, and so on. And we are only able to gather things that are accessible in this precise moment. So if Katie Host or Sophia deletes their information in 10 minutes, I would not be able to find them. Okay, for what functions does the system output a probability percentage? In case 1, there were percentage. In case 3, for the image feature, there was no probabilities. Does the administrator control this feature or the individual crime analyst? Is not completely clear. I think when we speak about percentage, we speak about the search by face and name functionality that we have seen. And in this case, the number is automatically generated by the AI that gives a score for the probability that the two people, two different social media profiles, have the same face as profile picture. Thank you, Stefan, for the question and introducing yourself. What functionality exists to help identify people behind a crypto wallet blockchain? So for this, we have a very good integration with a partner named BitQuery that allow us to access data from crypto and wallets and to visualize them in Crimewall. So we have this partnership that help us investigating on crypto stuff. Are you able to search selectors against audio files? For example, will the platform recognize when a selector is said in a video? No. Per now, we don't have this video analysis capability. We have some image analysis capability, but I want to show you in the next webinar in 1 month. And okay, are you able to add a geofence filter to only produce results within a short radius around a specific location? Yeah, we have the capability to use as an input geo-coordinates with also radio and to only find things in this geolocation. Yeah, it's a thing that we support. What I would like to know is, since the application is searching on darknet, dark web as well, how safe is the application in regards to IP and your information and security as a user? So I'm accessing through Social Links API, so I'm safe, and all those types of concerns can be addressed to the product team that can better explain than me, that I'm also a technical person, how the infrastructure behind the product works in the sense of making a person safe. But it's completely safe because we are just accessing through the API. So our API is going in the darknet. When can we have more capabilities to discover phone numbers from registered email, social media account, or even IDs? I believe a third-party link exists to make this flawless. So as per now, I think, sorry, I need a glass of water. We don't have much related to personal identifiers, but of course, it's a thing that we can plan to implement if we see that our customers also want it. Do you have any South African customers in the financial services or insurance industry? I I'm pretty sure we have some customers in the African continent, but in this specific moment, I am not sure if we have financial services or industries insurance industries. But you can contact the sales email that you see in the webinar, and if you have a need to understand this thing in specific, you can ask to the person that is more in contact with the licenses, customers, and so on. And the recording will be sent to us by email, yes. And okay, let me now go to the Q&A section. So, does this also include the Telegram platform? Like, does it collect metadata from platforms across the internet, even if they are secure? We haven't really showed nothing about Telegram. We have some exciting Telegram functionalities that I haven't showed here. And so, yeah, our product also includes a Telegram platform. What is the location of your knowledge base? I'm not sure I understand this question, but my like we can work with data all around the world. We make no difference between data coming from the 7 continents. So we're able to use this tool to analyze and investigate on things happening everywhere. Sorry, can you show us once again how to pivot from the graph to the de-anonymization? Thank you kindly. I miss it as I will be onboarding in social links. So the de-anonymization mode has a different link that you will have access to as soon as you will be onboarded. Here I have a question is not clear, sorry. I'm guessing highlight the entity and select the put in document. Sorry, it's not clear. You can send me an email and I'll try to answer. Are the queries on the darknet conducted in real time? Yes. Do you have any South African customers in the financial services or insurance? Again, you can try to contact the sales email and ask this question to them, because now in this moment I don't have access to the entire list of our customers. Okay, here, okay. How can we have access to your tool? Is it a subscription system or a one-time payment? To have access to our tool, you can contact the email I will also send in the chat. And you will be able to speak about prices, subscriptions, and so on. As you see me, I'm a very technical person. So about money, is better to ask to my great colleagues that manage all the part related to subscriptions and payments. Can we integrate human information like surveillance data or local databases for data enrichment? I think it would be possible, but is something that our product team needs to prioritize and deprioritize. So it can be done, but needs to be, approved by the technical team. Does your API permit access to all features that you have seen? Yes, apart for OSINT Industries, GitHub, and the Darknet. Is there a free version? No, or a test version. If in case that you are interested, you would be allowed to have to test the product, of course. What will be your advice on how to get more relevant results by using search by phrase? When we are using the phrase element, we are starting with a keyword. So usually when I work with phrase and so keyword, the thing that I do is to run searches in the different social media platforms, in the forums, in corporate databases, and in Google, for example. And then, so this mainly, I would use my keyword, my phrase in a keyword, despite its full name of person, a movement, or name of company, and I would look in the social media platforms. Yeah. If a person has a private profile, will the information pool for social media? So I will make it very simple because I only have 2 minutes and more questions. Let's imagine that I have that the profile of Sofia on Instagram was closed. Okay, of course we cannot gather followers, always post again stories and stories in highlights as we can do when we have an open one. But for example, the search by face and name, we can do it. And we will be then able to find other profiles, for example, in Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and so on, where maybe the setup, the level of privacy is lower. And so we can find information from there, even though the profile itself is closed. Okay. Hi, Costanza. Thank you for a most informative webinar. Pleased to see the improved functionality. Thank you. Very well presented, displaying your in-depth knowledge. We are in the process of discussion with your team, and this has enhanced our belief in our platform. Thank you. May I have downloads of the second webinar I've seen for hiring with our board level team? You will receive the webinar in your email. Thank you so much. And you're welcome. So thank you. I still have 24 questions to answer, and unfortunately, my time here is finished. You're welcome. I see many people saying thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, for having so many questions, and for making the webinar so interactive. I'm really looking forward for the next one. And yeah, thank you again. My time, unfortunately, is over. I would stay here speaking about OSINT for a long time more. Thank you again, and I wish you all a nice day, afternoon, or night, based on the place of the world where you connected from. Thank you so much. Goodbye.